live.
Howdy, and welcome to a Wielder Weapon one-shot, available now for purchase at my Patreon shop. We're going to dive right into the narrative, and at the end, we will tell you all about where else you can find us as creators in the TTRPG space. But for now, please join us in the fiction. In the vastness of the last frontier, the wide-open expanse of the Westerverse, we set our scene on a mostly unsettled planet, Sparna, where the purple sands and indigo mountains line every horizon. The plant life is sparse and strange, the tumbleweeds are sentient, and two cursed souls capable of terrible, impossible things are on the run again. At first, friends, all you can make out is purple dust as these two come kicking up from the thundering of undoubtedly stolen steeds. And then they take shape. You can see two huge six-legged beasts that seem to be made of pure black ice, carrying two escapees. This is no clean getaway, mind you, friends, as several pursuants, probably the law or someone they done rightfully wronged, give chase behind. We hear gunshots ring out, hollering, screeching coming from behind that dust cloud. And time slows down. We push in to one of our escapees here. And you know that some poor souls have been wronged so deeply it leaves a wound. Seemingly incurable, this poison of the spirit happens when one's world is rendered void of what made a person a human being. May the powers that be help this one. Sable Graves, can you tell us what we see as you are straddled atop this massive beast?
Eyes of deep brown, sweat drenched curls like plastered against their face, a cigarette that's fully at the tip at this point, burning, last of it that they had. Probably going to be a long time till they get another one. And a scar across their face and freckles all across their nose. They're young, but there is something behind their eyes that says, I've been here before. Let me teach you what I know.
Beautiful. And as you hear those gunshots ringing out, that mob possibly coming after you, you lock eyes with your cohort. Living with grief is likely akin to living in an ocean, breathing only to keep afloat, no land in sight, waiting for the next wave to crash. And loss manifests in a myriad of complex ways. It's one of those things that's impossible to miss when you see it on a person. It kind of looks like that. Clint, will you tell us what we see?
Yeah, riding across from Sable, you'd see Clint. Not quite young, not quite old. His demeanor makes him look a couple years older than he is just because of how he carries himself. Using magic space material, has a pure white suit that never gets dirty unless he wants it to. Very dark brown eyes with not black hair, dark brown hair slicked back under a white cowboy hat. Looking like your typical Western hero, but not much about him really screams hero.
Incredible. You are on a mission, you two. The last mission, if you get it done right. There might be a light at the end of this incredibly long tunnel of being cursed this way, of living day to day, never knowing if you're going to hurt someone, or if you're going to be hunted down, or if you're going to be enduring the most intense amounts of pain that a person can rightly endure. Again, you hear, pow, pow. They're shooting at you. You see behind you one person on a barker, which is like a domesticated morph monster whose tail can act as a lasso. It has 4 legs and the build of like a lion-sized dog with emerald green lizard skin. The person atop this barker is shooting recklessly. The other one is on a jalopy, a giraffe-esque looking steed with 2 heads. And atop its leftmost head, riding what would be the equivalent of side saddle is on this beast, is a woman archer reaching back to knock an arrow. What do you do?
Sable, at least, they've been at the back of a chase before. They've felt like as a sheriff before. They've seen that, so they're just hoping to get away from the arrow, like take a turn, find something for cover. But they will kind of yell out to Clint, begrudgingly, just always with, "How did I end up here with them? You got a plan, or are we just hoping for the best?"
Well, hoping for the best typically has made it work so far, but there should be a ridge not too far ahead. If we can turn last minute, they'll go flying over it. Unless you got some way of taking out 18 people behind us.
No, but that one over there is looks like a sharpshooter. So if you got some rope and you can hold it on one end and I can hold it on the other and they rush across, maybe we can knock that big boy down.
Sure. And I tossed you the rope I have.
Now, in tossing the rope, we're going to make our first roll.
Okay.
Clint,
Ooh.
how many dice are you rolling?
Gonna go with 1. I'm gonna go with 2.
2?
Based on your reaction to 1.
Are you adding your specialty dice to anything in this way? It could be seen as scheming, because you've concocted a plot with your cohort and you're trying to pull it off. So then you would roll a total of 3. Or would you like to roll a total of 4? What are we doing here? How many are you rolling?
As this is more my partner's plan, I think once the rope is in their hand, I want them to be able to do the most with it. So I'll use my scheming die. That's my personal die, right? Is the name of it?
Yep.
Yeah, so I'll use my personal die and then 2 of the shared dice.
Okay. Are you rolling the bond die?
No.
Okay, give me a roll.
I got a 1, a 3, and a 4.
Wonderful. However, in this game, 1 through 3 is a fail, 4 through 5 is a success, and the amount of successes that you get determine how successful you are. On a 1, you would not be successful at all, and you would have to mark burden. However, you're breaking the law. You've stolen these steeds. You've got deviltry. You can replace 1s and 2s with 6s.
I'll do that. I don't.
Okay,
there's not a finite amount of use there, is there?
No.
Okay. Yes, and that 1 is a 6 now.
Okay. So
Crime.
You have
Crime is good, everyone.
And you can re-roll one of them because it's a 6, and you can re-roll 6s in this game. So you have 2 successes now instead of 1.
Okay. And I can re-roll one of my successes or just a die in general?
Just a die in general.
Cool. So I'll re-roll the failure then. That's still a 3.
Okay, so 2 successes means you do set out what you attempt or you do what you set out to do. However, you put yourself in a slightly worse position for further action. So as you lean over and toss this rope to your cohort, Sable, the force of her grabbing it yanks you off the side of your horse halfway. So now you are by the stirrups, reaching out, stretched, holding onto this rope for dear life, and your ankle in between the stirrup, barely hanging on here. Sable Grace, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a specialty dice of dice to roll in reaction to this. Do you want to roll to tighten and widen the gap to do your plan, or would you like to roll to save your cohort?
They're going to tighten. I can't do both, but let's get that gap. Let's get ourselves out here.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dice. And if you are using your sort at all, I think this would be Endurin. Or
okay,
even
awesome.
defending,
Grappling?
like holding
Oh.
on while this rope burns in your against your skin. You try to keep it tight in your hand, and you endure that pain, knowing that your cohort is enduring something as well right now. Go ahead and roll me all 6 dice. Your bond dice, the 4 in the dice pool, and your specialty dice.
I love a good dice roll. My God. That is a 4, 4, 1, 3, 3, 2.
Take that 1 is now a 6. So that's 3 successes off the bat. You get to re-roll that 6 and see if you add it to those 3.
Nope, it's a 1.
Okay, but 3 successes is a scot-free, you accomplish what you set out to do. So you wrap that rope around your arm and lock your elbow into your side, letting that rope burn do what it does and ignoring the pain for now. As you widen this gap, you can replenish your pool and refill all with the dice there. As you stretch across, you see the ridge in the distance, and the Jalopy comes riding up. Sees that you are V'ing out, unable to see the rope in the dust of cloud that you've been kicking up, this purple dust around you on this alien planet, and the Jalopy goes tumbling forward. There is still the barker, but you do see that the archer atop the Jalopy tumbles into the grass and smack sticks against an alien cactus, not dead, but certainly not getting off of these spikes anytime soon.
How far away is the archer?
The archer, I would say, is about in shooting distance, so like eyesight and probably even earshot. You could probably call out, but you can't touch them. You'd have to redirect your horse to go around if you wanted to actually interact with them.
Got it. And how is my cohort doing?
Your cohort is hanging on barely.
Now that they are down, they will try to. Sable will try to get closer to Clint and try to grab them by their vest, whatever they're wearing, and try to help them back up.
Absolutely. That'll be a defending roll. You're acting just like your sort, trying to keep somebody from physical harm. How many dice do you want to roll here? You do get to add your specialty.
With my specialty, I'm going to go for a 4.
Okay. Are you using the bond dice while you roll these 4?
I'm going to say yes because we're bonded.
Okay. Absolutely.
Okay.
So roll your 4. One of them is a bond dice, 2 of them are from the dice pool, and 1 is from your specialty.
That is a 6, 5, 4, and a 2, 1. Wait, no, sorry, 1, 1. That was the other dice. There you go.
Okay. So re-roll 2 of your dice because you technically got 2 6s. You can replace your ones with 6s when you're breaking the law.
2 4s.
Okay. So that is 6 successes, I believe, in total.
Yeah.
Wonderful. That is
and explain how we got to 6 for Sean.
Yeah. So we had a 4.
Rolled 4. We had 2 6s, so we re-rolled the 2, and we got 2 more successes. So, now I'm lost. Sorry, have to go back.
Yeah, you had a 6 and a 4, and then a 2 and a 1. So 2 of them were successes. The 1 was an automatic 6. You got to re-roll 2 of these dice, and they were both successes. Oh, so it's 5.
Yes.
Okay.
There you go.
So we got to 5 successes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Which does mean an outstanding success. So you can, well, you have no burdens just yet, which is wonderful. So you have an astounding success in here. You grab him by the collar of his eternally white, unless he wants it not to be, suit, pull him back up onto his steed of black ice, and you are riding side by side toward this ridge that is very fast approaching. Clint, you've just been saved. You have 4 dice, not including your specialty. What do you do?
I think looking at Sable, being like, see, I knew you got me. You pretend like you don't like me, but I knew you got me. And then seeing how fast this ridge is coming up. Is this ridge understandably jumpable for the mobiles we're on?
Anything is possible.
Okay. I think in that case, if it's fast approaching, I think that was his whole plan, was get them there, let them all top while we make it across. I think he's going to try and be like, I don't trust both of these horses to make it across. Get on mine, and like grab Sable onto his horse to have a co-op jump across the way.
Okay, what we're going to do is you are going to roll the rest of this pool in order to, I would say that this counts as escaping, which is one of the outlaw specialties. So you can roll all 5. Let me know what you get. And this is just to pull Sable over. And then we're going to make a full roll for you to get leaped across.
So I got 1 6, 2 4s, a 3, and a 2.
Okay.
So then I reroll. Do I reroll the 6 or do I like to reroll the 2? I just want to make sure I get that
Reroll
right.
the 6.
Okay, cool. That's
so we're at 3 successes.
So.
Okay. So you do set out, or you do what you set out to do. I don't know why my brain keeps switching those. And you are able to give Sable kind of a steadying arm so that she can swing her leg over. One of these steeds, these black ice horse-esque looking beasts, veers off in fear for its life while the other continues to gallop forward. We're going to replenish the pool. You are the one in control here right now of this steed, Clint. So I need you to make the first roll. This is to jump a gorge. How many dice would you like to roll?
I'd like to do 5, including my specialty dice and the bound dice.
Okay.
Okay.
Go for it.
Specialty is, this feels like some escaping and some scheming and some sneaking. This feels like a lot of stuff all right there together.
You're acting just like your sort. Okay, roll those 5 dice,
so,
leaving your cohort with only 3 in the pool and their own specialty dice.
I got a 6, a 4, and a 5, and then a 2 and a 3.
A 6, a 4, and a 5. That's 3 successes. Reroll your 6, please.
That's a 1.
Okay. So 3 successes. You take off into the air. As the wind kind of billows, and Sable, you can look down into this gorge. The rock formations ebbed away by thousands of years of erosion, hundreds of feet below you. You feel something wrap around your shoulders. The tail of the barker, the lassoing animal. You have 3 dice and a specialty dice. What do you do in this moment?
Enduring to like pull it off of them, kind of slipping through. But the way it's not like Sable, I don't want Sable to do it intentionally, but like it catches on something.
Yeah.
That she was holding really dearly. Her old sheriff's badge that doesn't have anything anymore.
Absolutely. Please go ahead and roll those all 4 dice, 3 in the pool and 1 of your specialty. Let me know what you get.
2 6s, 1 4, 1 3.
Reroll both of your 6s.
That's not.
I was like, that's a 9. My brain. 3 and a 2.
Okay, so 3 successes is a total success. You absolutely manage to fight this vice grip off of you that feels almost like spiky Velcro is on it, and it tears a very long strip right off, including your sheriff's badge. You see the last glint of that metal in the fading sunlight as the lasso closes and pulls back through that cloud of dust on the other side of the ridge as you feel your steed land solidly on the other side safely. You may now replenish your pool. You came to
Abel
Smyrna.
had like
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Abel had like slowly try to get like it through their fingertips before it goes, and as like the horse is going, their face is just in shock of something that just like left. So they whisper to Clint in the back, "Ain't no turning back now."
Ain't been no turning back for a long time, but I'm glad you've recognized it.
Sable, go ahead and mark a burden for me. So you take a little bit of damage. The only reason you two have come to Smyrna at all is in hopes of finding an ancient relic. All you know about it is that it's supposed to be something bronze-colored and of an old deity of a civilization that no longer exists. You know the shape of it. One of you has in their pocket a small piece of paper with the silhouette of what this artifact will look like, though it doesn't seem like any recognizable beast that you would know. You come to a fork in the road very quickly after this ridge. You see that you have 2 options. As the sun sets, you see up to your left, upward and yonder a bit, a ranch. Doesn't seem like any smoke's coming out of the chimney. Doesn't seem like anybody's there, but you do see some cattle in a pen, so at least it's active, or should be. But as the sun sets, there's no lights in those windows. Very likely that no one's home tonight. Might be a safe place to rest. Could be a trap. You could be walking in on an entire family. You don't know. Rightwise, you see a street sign. Just a plank of wood, etched in silver, which strikes you as odd. Mercy, Sector 12. What do you do?
What do you think? Lie low or the literal silvery sign?
They know what this looks like, where we left on, so I feel like we need something new. And then, yeah, the silvery sign. They're kind of looking at the horse that they're on and trying to, like, let's find something else to hide away in, so they follow those tracks instead.
Okay. So you're heading towards Mercy, Sector 12, correct? Wonderful.
Sector 12.
It takes a lot of travel to get there. By the time you arrive, it is now closer to daybreak than it would be to dusk. You see it from over the hill as you come riding slowly into town, your steed pretty exhausted at this point. Neon signs flickering against old wooden shacks, dust swirling in the streets as space transports kind of come and go, bringing in goods and settlers eager to stake their claim. Mercy Sector 12 is this little boomtown that sits atop this planet's largest mineral deposit of trullium, one of the most volatile elements in existence. Not a lot of people settle here because it's not safe to do so. The air hums with the sound of robotic laborers. There's certainly a trullium mine close by, while a local saloon buzzes with heated deals, shady deals, and whispers of strange discoveries buried deep within the planet's surface. And as you come in on your black ice steed, you see some kids drawing iridescent water from a well, and they look at you wide eyed. You get the feeling that not a lot of people come through Mercy Sector 12 on a steed. They drop ship people in here to work, to trade, and then they send them back out. You look a little out of place here. As I said, you can see a Comet Cantina kind of saloon bustling. The noise, the music is bursting through the windows. You see the sheriff's office, the light is on inside. You can also see just off in the distance those robotic arms that look like they are punching into the planet's surface. Where do you want to look first?
What do you think? Should we give a visit to your old home office, or start somewhere else?
They kind of scoff to that, roll their eyes. But they're looking at the kids, the ones who kind of are outside, who might know and who are kind of paying attention, especially if they're coming to a steed. So they'll give them like a little smile, whatever they have left of a smile at this point. And if they are interested in the steed, they will they'll kind of whisper to Clint, I think we should ask around. Somebody's got to know something. Someone who pays a good amount of attention.
So, a child, a bartender, or an old lady yelling on her porch?
I'm not too happy about going back into a saloon just yet, so if you want to do that, you can. I'll watch outside.
No, I'm not letting you too far away. What if we need each other?
I said I'm not going too far. The last time we were in there, well, that brought us in this situation, so can't risk that again.
But wouldn't, by the same logic, going right back in get us out just as fast?
They have this face of like, oh, so you wrote the book on this little curse that we have? Got it. Okay, so yeah, turn the horse. Let's go to the bar.
Wonderful. You're heading to the Comet Cantina for now.
Begrudgingly / excitedly.
As soon as you hitch that horse, you're able to walk up those stairs into those swinging doors. You see that there is a couple gambling tables. There's an upstairs where people are kind of leaning over the banister to look at the show going on the stage. You can see the bar. You can see a small, not dance floor, but just kind of walk-in room. And you see on the stage 2 saloon plasmoids who are all about combining and dividing their ooze-like bodies into artistic, sometimes suggestive shapes that get hoots and hollers from the audience. You scan the area. You notice some goons that look a little bit like outlaws. Some of them are just keeping watch. A couple of them are even gambling or watching the show. But 2 standing guard at a curtained doorway upstairs, where it seems that no one is going in or out. Where are you drawn to in here?
The spaces where like people are going in and out. If you just remind me one more time what that was.
Yeah, it's not quite a dance floor because there are a lot of tables and chairs seated there now, but it looks like it used to be. So it's just more like the throughway where people are able to pass each other to the bar or to the upstairs, etc.
Definitely their eyes are going to the upstairs. You know, sneaky little spaces where people might be hiding there. Just experience. So they kind of they'll walk behind Clint, and start just heading towards the stairs just to see what's up there.
Absolutely. You hear giggling upstairs. You hear a lot, or you see a lot of smoke coming out between some of the rooms that are not curtained. It's just like you can see that it's more like hookah booths inside. A lot of VIP area. The curtains, however, no one comes in or out, and they are the only things guarded. But you are able to head upstairs and walk around, kind of look in the VIP booths, but the curtained area seems to be exclusive access only.
Would I see any of the outlaws up here on the upper floor, or are they just all down below?
You see one outlaw up here who is leaning over the banister watching the show.
I'm trying to keep as out of view as most can from all of the outlaws. Go and say, well, you want to try and sneak into a curtain, say that we, I don't know, rented the place out, financed it, did something, or you want to see what the hookah bars are all about? Or we could go push that guy over the banister. It'd start a lot of chaos, but we'd probably find some sort of answer in it.
Let's save that one for last if we don't have an answer real quick.
Yeah.
They're gonna go for who's up, like, who's what was it, behind the curtains? Is that what you said?
Yeah,
The
there's
curtains are guarded, right?
Yes, the curtains are guarded by two.
Yeah, that's true.
rooms.
I want to go behind the curtain, but I also am good at lying, stealing, sneaking, and cheating, so I think it'd be fun. Cool. What do you say, Sheriff? Should we do a back alley gamble?
Fine. They kind of like look to their pockets for something, and they again begrudgingly trying doing something they don't usually do. Just it's not like I got a soul left to save, so fine.
Yeah. And it's not like those watching the plasmoid dancers are really going to be the ones knowing where things are at around here, I don't imagine.
So, Clint, you're heading up to one of the guards at the curtain, or you're going to gamble? What's up?
I want to go to the guards at the curtain and convince them I'm important.
Go for it. What do you walk up, you do see that both of these guards are very androgynous, huge. They look kind of like sharks standing up. There is like a razor bladed fin on the back of one's head, and eyes on either side of the other one's head. So you see a shark influence there. They are huge. And as you walk up, one snarls with its with their arms crossed and goes, "What do you want?"
You know who I am, I take it?
Not at all.
Well, that's your problem. My partner got taken in, and I'm looking for a way to bust him out, and was told I could meet with people around here to figure it out.
What people?
I don't know, they said people. Do you not know people?
I do not know people. Do you know people? The other shark guard just goes, "Ugh,"
That could be people.
but is looking very intently at the sheriff.
They're Sable's using behind Clint as like big guard dog energy kind of there, so they tilt their head at that stare. We're just looking for a couple of people. I think you should just listen to them and, listen to the big important man and let us in there for a look or two. Try and convince them with like a little, I don't know, authority, I guess, or sense of authority.
Sure. You can give me a roll. How many dice would you like to roll?
have faith, so I'm going to say 2.
Okay. Or is one of them the bond dice?
No.
Okay. Roll your 2.
So, yeah.
Go ahead and mark a burden for me.
Gotcha. Could I re-roll?
Yeah, is this considered crime, and is one of them a 1?
This is not breaking the law, just asking if you can go back somewhere.
Maybe
So-
space law was real stiff about asking permission.
I mean, Clint, you have a large pool here to work with. You see that the shark, at seeing the tilt of the sheriff's head, goes, Sure. If your friend here can beat me in arm wrestling, I see no reason why that would be a problem.
I got this.
Great. You have all of these dice. I don't think, as an outlaw, you can use any of your specialties for just a straight arm wrestle.
What if, as we're doing the arm wrestle, I compliment them on their physique and try and get in their head flirtatiously to throw them off of their arm wrestling game?
Sure. You make a couple of kissy faces. What do you say about their lovely physique that
I think
sends it
just
over
sitting
you?
there, like, seeing their, like, shark bicep, I imagine huge, like, probably, like, thigh versus regular, like, this forearm, and just be like, oh, I mean, clearly you care enough about your life to keep your body in check. I'm sure no one's not checking you out any time of day. And just, like, commenting small compliments. Like, anytime they move, it's like, ooh, nice form. Like, just like making it so that, like, the one, is it flirting, or 2, is it distracting, but 2, like, to move their attention away from, like, the center of focus and more to, like, the different spots that are not where you focus on for an arm wrestle.
Absolutely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Roll 7 dice. You don't have anything that would let you re-roll anything. Let me know how many 1s you get as well, if any.
That is a 6, a 4, 3 1s, a 2, and a 3.
So 2 successes, and because you rolled more fails than successes and 3 or more crit fails, you do need to mark 2 burden, 1 for each of those. Wonderful. As you lock hands with this beast of a bodyguard, you give a little compliment, and you see them snarl again, pointed teeth right in your face as they open this huge smile and say, yes, my husband, love. And your hand immediately goes down to the end. You're not going to take any damage, but you are defeated quickly. However, while this is happening, you may replenish your pool. While this is happening, this talk up, this complimentary, both guards have come down here to watch this match. Sheriff, Sable, do you slip back behind the curtain?
Of course.
You need no roll for this. There's no one guarding it anymore. As you enter this area, friends, let's see what we see. Long, wooden hallways. 2 doors on each side. All of them but one are locked. Are you trying to unlock any of these doors, listen through any of these doors, or are you going for the one that is open? You can see it slightly ajar.
Listen first. They're trying to just figure out what is the best option. So out of what they could hear, that's who they'll choose to be like, hey.
Absolutely. I need you to give me a roll. You are no longer within eye and earshot of your cohort. You can use as many of these dice as you want, but until your scene is resolved, you will only be rolling with the residual dice pool that you leave yourself here.
Okay. We were replenished, so
Mhm.
okay. Gotcha. Let's start with 3.
Okay. Is there a specialty that you see yourself using? Because I don't see a specialty here.
Listening in, no, but later
Okay.
on, possibly befriending, convincing.
Okay. Absolutely. Give me those 3 dice rolls. Are any of them your bond die?
No, but just to understand, if I fail a dice, can I re-roll with a flashback? Is that what that was?
Yes, absolutely you can.
Okay, gotcha. That is 3 4s, so
Amazing. Don't replenish that pool. Take those 3 away. You listen to one door. You hear nothing. It seems completely empty. You listen to another, again, completely empty. The door across from the ajar door, however, you hear muffled sounds. The closer you get, you can tell their voices. And as you press your ear to the door, you hear,
I swear I didn't touch it. I would never touch your personal things. I know exactly how you feel about that, big boss, and I would never do that to you. Please, you know I have to go on stage and, oh God, just 2 blorgons. I really don't have the time to get into you right now, but if you could.
and then there's silence as you hear a creak, as if someone is either standing up and is extremely heavy, or is walking across the floor one heavy step at a time. You hear, "Now, I don't much care for excuses. I think you know that, Miss Betty. I think you know that just fine. You have until the end of tonight's performance to pay me what is owed, or we're going to have another conversation, I fear. Do I make myself clear?"
Oh, yes, boss. Yes, of course you do. You always do. Crystal clear. Oh, my God. What a voice. What a way of diction. What a way of speaking.
Go.
Absolutely, boss. I was just leaving.
And you hear tip-taps coming quickly to the door. What do you do?
Instantly pretending like they had too much to drink and they're trying to find somewhere to throw up.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a roll. You have 4 left, but you don't know when you'll be able to replenish. And if you are acting like your sort, you can add it in. Just let me know how. Maybe convincing. Maybe convincing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead and
Convincing
roll
will.
however many you like. How many are you rolling?
For now, 2, because I only
Okay.
have 4 left, correct?
Yes.
It's a 5 and a 6.
You can re-roll your 6. Was either of those the bond die?
No.
Okay.
I keep forgetting about that. Hold on. Okay, that was a 3.
Okay, so 2 successes. You get what you were searching for, but you put yourself in a worse position. As this almost angelfish looking being on 3 legs comes scurrying out on high heels, you see that she's wearing this beglittered. Oh, stretch. Thank you, chat. This beglittered bustier that is like a corset that should fall into feathers, but instead is like iridescent ribbons of fabric flowing behind her, getting all fluttered with her multiple leg walking. She bumps into you and goes,
Oh, my God. I'm so sorry. Oh, God. Boss, I got your next one for you.
and she swings the door open. And you make eye contact with someone massive. Looks like a being made of pure slime, shoved into a suit. At least, from the look of this person, 700 pounds. Towering in this tiny room, taking up most of the space. You see on their quote-unquote knuckles several rings that are really just floating in the goo. in the slime there as he pretends to crack them, I'll say, but like motions like he is cracking the glue, but really seems to just be rubbing the rings on the inside and goes, come on in.
Well, I thought I got a little bit of lost back there, but I think I got to the right place. Just how do you do? Sable Graves.
You reach out to shake his hand?
Mm.
Absolutely. He shakes your hand, and it is surprisingly constrictive for what seems to just be greenish blue see-through slime. And when he pulls away, there is like mucus webbing at your fingers. And he goes, "You law?"
No. Don't really mess with that sort. Just
You're legally required to tell me if you're law.
They just like kind of walk past. Say if there's like a chair in that room, they just sit down, fully. Look, hey, we just had some questions, and I was like, a little curious. We're looking for something.
Who's we exactly, Miss Graves?
Oh, you see, I got a friend of mine. Just sits. They'll be in shortly. They're just doing a little bit of a game. Just spending a little bit of a coin. Just what else we have,
You have questions?
Yeah, some questions. Before they ask about what they're trying to find, or Sable, who does this person look like? Like, is this someone trustworthy to talk to?
I would say that this seems like a person with a lot of power, but you don't know how trustworthy or untrustworthy they are. No violence was used behind doors when you were listening in, and it does seem like he's just holding up the part of his deal. So even if skeevy, not evil as far as you can tell.
They'll continue the act of they drank a little too much, so they'll do a quick little burp and oh, that went down too bad. Okay, look, you look like you know quite a few things that happen in Mercy, so we're just looking for something, and we thought, why not come straight to you? You seem like a friendly type, so we like making a couple of friends.
Miss Graves. You came into Mercy and straight to me because I seem friendly.
I call it friendly.
Tell me, Miss Graves, who am I then?
They I don't know what the phrase is, but they suck their teeth or something like that sound.
Yeah.
And there's something in Sable to that instinct to be you're clearly messing with the something. I feel like I should charge you for something, but they close down
you're under arrest. I mean, you're a nice guy.
How about you tell me? I just it's quite obvious that you have something here and you have a handle on your dancers, so you know a little bit, some bit, and I'm just curious that maybe the some bit that you know is the some bit that I need.
What is it that you're out here in the middle of nowhere looking to find exactly? So I know how to help you proper.
We're kind of looking for an item. It's a funny little thing. It's made of a metal. It's special. It would be special. So something ancient, you know? Nothing that you would really care for, but maybe you put it on top of a shelf or something and you'll point at dinner time or something like that to new folks who come in for food, you know? So we're just looking for that. It just what is that made out of? It's not that good gold. It's bronze, you know? The one that gets dull real quick, you know?
And what does this bronze trinket look like?
Yeah, if I knew. I just know that it's special. It looks a cute little bronze thing, and well, we're trying to find it, so we're trying to ask around.
Well, you certainly came to the right place, the right man in the right galaxy. I'm a bit of a collector myself. Pride myself on knowing things about little metal trinkets. Bronze is not a metal you see often anymore. Not ever since the Milky Way got devoured by that massive space dragon. But I will say it's possible that there are some bronze relics out in, the ancient galaxy? It's on the outer rings.
Mm.
A couple of those planets are housing some really beautiful artifacts that they just won't give up, so maybe you'll fare better out there. Fortunately, that's all I can help you with, Miss Graves. Hope you and your friend find what it is that you are looking for.
You gotta show me that collection sometime, but until we get some, if he wins some games anytime soon and get some money to get out to those outer rings, we're gonna hang around in Mercy a little bit, if that's all right.
He narrows his eyes a little bit. You hear the goop of his eyelids squelching as he starts to close them.
She will respond with narrowing hers as well. Just get us to bed, maybe, head out in the morning. So, that's good to know. Well, good to meet you. Didn't catch your name, did I?
No, you did not. I hope you have a wonderful evening, Miss Graves. Please, I do have some business I need attending to.
Yeah, I see that. And they'll take their hat and just do a little good day and walk back to the entrance. If they can slip back, I don't know if they would have noticed by this point. They would to get to Clint.
Go ahead and roll me to be sneaky to see if you successfully get to sneak up there.
Mm-hmm. These are my last two, right?
I have you rolled.
Should be the bond die.
Yeah, I do believe you have 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's okay. Gotcha. 1 success. No, sorry. 6 and a 4. That's 2 successes.
Roll your 6.
And is a failed die only a 1?
Failed die is 3, 2, and 1.
That is a 4.
Okay, so that's 3 successes. You do, surprisingly, manage to make it back to Clint without being noticed by the shark guards, who are being a little preoccupied right now. Clint, what have you been up to in just the last, 5 minutes or so that is captivating attention from all around the saloon?
I think, despite being wrecked in arm wrestling, playing it off as though it did not hurt at all, despite it hurting immensely, and just kind of so timing wise, if the Angelfish patron, who I don't know about, but they're the next performer, would the current show be wrapping up a bit?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So I think just taking the second to draw, in the time it takes, that chatter that happens between like pieces ending at a concert or like movements ending at a show, just like playing it off that he's still really cool, walking like the lines of chairs, just seeing if any conversations call out to him as an interesting conversation, and if
Yeah.
they do, trying to get involved in that.
Absolutely. You can replenish your pool now that you are back together and resolved that roll. Maz held on to that dice pool with every fingernail. I loved it. Oh, thank you for the
Gotta
hydrate.
hydrate. Also, we have ads starting momentarily.
Oh, great.
So,
Well, then we will say that you are heading around listening for gossip, and we're going to hydrate and be right back after ads.
we'll see you
Yeehaw.
on the other side, chat. Goodbye. Hello.
And
we're back.
we are back with our two cohorts in a space saloon after just losing an arm wrestling match with a shark bodyguard and shaking hands with a sleazy-esque slime man. Now we are making the rounds, listening, keeping our ears about us for a bit of gossip, an interesting conversation. You hear, and I don't know if this would be enough to pull you, Clint, but you do in fact hear that some of the plasmoid dancers that just came off the stage are leaning up against the side area down where the steps are to go up onto stage. Instead of going back to their dressing rooms, they're kind of just like leaning up, chatting. They're not pressed to get moving. You hear, well, yeah, I don't know why she thought Mr. Zorbucks would give her an extension. She's indentured forever, so she needs to pay on time or, you know. The other goes, well, there are ways, it's more than just being indebted forever. That's so boring. We live forever. So there are ways to get out of it if you really want to get out of it. I think she's just happy being center of attention, Miss Missy up there. And the other responds, how exactly would you just get out of a forever contract? I'm just curious, just wondering. Like, you tell me. And that's what you hear before you decide to interject, if you do.
Yeah, I think I would definitely interject with like, oh, you too know about forever contracts. Hey, name's Clint. And just fully insert myself into this conversation that I was not invited to.
Oh, hello, charmed, I'm sure. Hi.
I've heard that before. Hi.
Well, it's lovely to meet. Did you just watch our show? Thank you. Oh my god.
Watched every minute of it. It was the most spectacular thing I've seen in Mercy or on any other galaxy, and I've been to many of them.
Oh my god. See, that is a flatterer. That's what we like. We love people who come here to see the show and then actually watch the show and know that it takes a lot out of us. Like, it's artistry.
So do most of these unintellectuals not take the time to watch your show?
Most of them, honestly, hun, just kind of stare and drool. It's disgusting.
Probably the only break they get all week, so thank you, kind ladies, for doing the service to the population here. It sounded like you were having a hard time with the contract with Zorbucks up there. Is that an issue you got?
You know Zorbucks?
Everyone knows Zorbucks.
Oh, ain't that the truth?
I figure you all are talking about contracts. A friend of mine and I, we, not with anyone around here, but we may have gotten ourselves into a bit of a forever pact, as you could say. And if we're just talking about getting out, I thought we could bond over them and or share some information.
Oh, well, I'm parched. Aren't you parched, Patsy? And the other dancer right next to her, who's kind of been making eyes at Sable, is like, yeah, I'm parched. Yes, I'm so thirsty. I'd love to get a drink or have like a drink given to me by anyone.
Give you many
here.
a drink. You wanna on the dance floor or one of the more quiet rooms upstairs?
You can afford the VIP experience?
I mean, for you both, I could afford anything.
Oh my god, so forward. And they are falling over themselves. They're about to start a freaking kick line right now. You will have to order a booth at the bar so that they know where to start taking your bottles and your hookahs and things like that. So you head up to the bar. There is a bartender there who looks like he has about 8 arms or so, handlebar mustache. Everything about him looks incredibly human, but he does have 8 arms. And he's making drinks, passing them out. He looks at you and goes, "What are you having? What do you need?"
Oh, just the VIP suite if you got it.
Of course, yes, absolutely. I think that booth 6 is open for you. You want to start a tab or pay cash?
No, let's get a tab going.
Sure. Let me get a name.
Flint.
You got it, Mr. Flint. And he's going to start a tab under that name. You head on up to booth 6, where a couple of waitresses will indeed bring you this kind of astro hookah situation that looks like a mad scientist experiment. I don't know if you're heading straight there, but they are setting up your booth now. Is there anything else you want to do out here before taking that private
I
booth?
think just spending time. It would be gauche to head straight there. If you head straight there, you're excited about it. So taking the time just to like finish the walking around, probably point it out to Sable so that she knows where to go. And just like if it's ready in 5 minutes, taking 10 before I get there.
Okay. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, you take another turn about the room. A couple of eyes kind of follow you from some of the more outlaw, like ruggish looking types. No one says anything or approaches you. I think they're just noticing that you're making the lap itself. Sable, what about you? What are you up to before, if you're joining the VIP booth, before you head upstairs?
They'll get a they'll get a drink at the bar. And I don't know how much they know about like what this is happening upstairs, so they'll let Clint go ahead and then meet up. So since they've already had that chat with them, like maybe chat with the bartender.
Absolutely. His arms slow down a bit as you are sipping on your drink, as the orders are kind of slowing down. When Miss Betty takes the stage in all of her glittery glory and the lights kind of dim, people stop ordering and they're just sitting with what they have and watching. So you are able to have kind of like a whispered conversation with this bartender so as not to disrupt the show, as he leans over and goes, I haven't seen you here before. Everything okay, stranger?
New here in town, so just a little lost.
Well, where are you looking to go? Maybe I can help out.
It's not where I need to go, it's just trying to find something, and I'm not really getting the answers I need, so... And they just, like, lift their glass and just, like, knock it back.
I hear ya. And they also lift a glass and knock it back. It goes nowhere. Like, it's an empty glass. That it's just more empathetic. They can't drink on the job, but they're trying to empathize. They look at you and lean like 3 elbows on the bar and go, you know, some days I've been here most of my life and some days I feel more lost than ever. So I think that's just a rite of passage when you're out here in Mercy. It's a wild land, you know? You never know what's going to happen.
Oh yeah, you from Mercy?
Almost my whole life. I was dropped here in trade, so.
Dropped here from trade?
Yeah, you know,
if
the
it's, like,
mines,
quite a far...
the mines were opening up, so they needed some people to come work this boomtown, and they birthed me and dropped me in. I started working the day I was born.
Oh, damn. You know? They kind of, they're just, like, really playing the part of someone who's just not paying attention to the dance. So even when they, like, look over, they just glaze over the crowd. When they come back, they, like, whisper quietly, just like, What's with your boss man upstairs? They seem a little... Nah, I don't want to even talk about that.
No, go on, stranger, go on. What have you noticed?
Well, look, we're just in town trying to find something, and it seems like nothing is here in Mercy. But that doesn't feel right. Mercy seems special. It seems to have some things, you know? You came here, people working here, there's... I feel like... I don't know. Maybe I'm just asking the wrong horse, you know?
Well, you know, stranger, that there is something here. Something valuable. Something that a lot of different planets want that you can't find anywhere else.
I came from a small
Trillium.
small town.
In the
Here.
mines. Yeah, that's what they found. It's very hush hush. Not a lot of people come out to this part of the galaxy, looking for anything, but
No.
they've been dropping stuff in, and like me, and they've been making those mines down there for a long time. They go all under around this planet too.
They'll do a turn to catch Clint's face, and they'll like put their like drink to them, and you'll at least a Clint like a small wink, before like letting the bartender talk. And if that's when Clint's like going upstairs, like pretty much saying like, "I'll be there shortly. There's something
Yeah.
here." Wink.
Yeah. I think it's just the rush of business, that makes Mr. Zorbucks a little out of sorts sometimes. He's really not. Yeah. Can I get you another?
Their eyes kind of narrow at that, just like that. They let that silence be felt for a second before they take a sip, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, it's empty. Yes, please."
You got it. And you have another full glass of this bubbling, kind of smoky drink. It smells like a really nicely aged whiskey, but it tastes like juice. It's an odd kind of combination for the senses. I think the smell is coming from the smoke it's emitting, and the juice bubbling down is like a nice carbonated fruit soda. And you're able to have another one of those. It is at this time, I am going to need to ask a roll from you. This is your second drink. Let's see how well you're enduring.
Okay. Do I choose how many dice?
Absolutely.
I'm gonna go 4 with my bond, because I
Okay.
feel like being out with Clint for sure. That tolerance has gone up.
You're rolling 2 from the dice pool, 1 specialty, and 1 bond dice.
Yes.
Okay.
That's 1,
Not bad.
5, 2, 3.
Okay.
Okay.
1 success.
Did I re-roll?
If you'd like to re-roll any of these, you can absolutely. Hello, by the way, in chat. You can absolutely flash back for me to a part of your arc if you'd like to re-roll any of these.
Of my arc, is it just a memory like from the beginning, or like?
You can give me a number 1 through 5 that will give you a prompt for a specific moment in your memory that I will ask of you. 1 is the earliest, 5 is the most recent. So if you want to kind of gauge around there.
Let's go for a good 3.
Okay, smack dab in the middle. Give me a flashback of the minutes leading up to the very moment that you were cursed. And this will be interesting because this takes place in a saloon as well. Maybe even you were having drinks then too. Tell us what that was like. Take us back there.
The moment they take that last sip and the inebriation, the feeling of weightlessness kind of comes to them, it goes back to that moment right before everything went down, and their last frustrating thought is that they were no longer a sheriff and they were hiding, because whoever came into that bar, they would know a person like Sable Graves. They know how they walk, especially the largest outlaw group, of course. So they had their head down, and they hated that feeling. Sable was sitting at that chair, possibly 5th, 6th, 7th drink in before they convinced themselves to move to the next town before that curse came in. And what they were thinking of was scratching with their knife the name of the person that fuels that vengeance inside them. before they all came in, they were replaying that memory. And she was remembering, and she was kind of like 5 or 6 drinks in, she was voicing it. The lines she said, Elias Varn, you're under arrest. No, I should have done it different. I should have done different. Before it all went to hell. And she just replaying it and saying it out to the bartender. The whole town wanted him dead. The whole town. But I didn't. I didn't want some justice without a trial. No. I stood against all of them. All 63 members of them. Even that old man. Old man Hank, too. Hand on my gun. Eyes steady. I made them all wait. I made them follow the law. That didn't matter. 3 days later, they all stood by, just watched as they dragged me from my office. They didn't give me no trial. And Elias, the one I saved, was right there among them. And as soon as she like points at the bartender saying that, the outlaw like group comes in, and like this vice grip around her, like when it all happened, tying them to the last person a sheriff, a soldier, like Sable Graves would ever be tied to. An outlaw. And there is this instant thought of being on a scales of justice and being pointed at each other, but also being pulled together by that same bar that holds both scales together. And just, that's the last memory they had before, boom, rest is history.
That's beautiful. Please re-roll 3 of your 4 dice. You had 1 success. Let's see if we can turn these other 3 into a success as well.
Dice, you can't fail again after that narration.
That is a 5, 4, and a 4. So I did.
Absolutely. Turn the whole thing around. Beautiful. That's 4 successes. So you do what you set out to do, and you get a little extra here. You are just trying to keep it together as you remember the few minutes before the Outer Rings gang kicked in the doors of that saloon and changed your life forever. You barely stop yourself from shouting out at the current bartender that you're talking to, those same drunk mumblings. And you keep your wits about you just enough to notice someone new walk in. You were a sheriff. We are going to need to give me another roll to see if you recognize this outlaw. I don't think there's anything in your specialty that you would use for this, but feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. But you can roll the rest of your dice. 4 of them.
That is all 4 successes. That's 2 5s, 4, and a 6.
You know exactly who this is. This is Razor Knives. That is the name that he now goes by, though you once arrested him as Ted Danielson. You arrested him a long time ago for drunkenly cow tipping on like ranchers' farms locally. But he has sure made a name for himself now. Razor Knives is a knife-throwing expert. You know that he was supposedly picked up by the Outer Rings gang in order to settle a debt with a circus planet after he had gone around tipping many circus animals all over this world. He's now an outlaw for the Outer Rings gang, and one of the most dangerous. They say that he is not in his right mind. They say that he is deadly. You clock him, walk in. We're going to replenish our pool because I'm going to check in with Clint upstairs in the VIP booth, who is chatting up two lovely saloon dancers, plasmoid girls, as not only drinks, but this odd astro hookah is set in front of you. One of the girls takes a little sip of it, and when they blow out the smoke, it is bright blue. She passes it to her friend, and when she blows out the smoke, it is neon green. She then hands it to you.
It takes a big puff of it, seeing what color he has.
Can you tell me what Dolly's favorite color was?
Like a scarlet red. Like the kind of gown
Scarlet
you only get when you make it in life.
Yeah.
Like the one that you make cheap imitation reds, but you can only get that color if you've got it.
Yes. Like this very intentionally made red that you never find just out in nature. Blows out the smoke, enveloping you, pushing out past the neon blue and green. And you remember. But you keep it together. No roll needed. You keep it together. You're up here chatting with them. They're still kind of giggling, talking to themselves, excited to be treated and spoiled, finally. What information are you trying to get? How do you work this angle here?
Yeah. So, still trying to see, like, if they've, like, imagine, like, if I know anything about capitalist corporate structure, the people that know the most are the people that are not looked at by the bosses. And so trying to look at them, seeing if they know anything about this treasure, going to approach it sort of in a way of very flirty, as Clint has always been. Just, I'm a bit of a treasure hunter myself, and I was told a wonderful artifact could be on this planet. Clearly people got it right because I got 2 gems right here in front of me, but if either of you know more about some old world little like necklacey things, I think I like to wear
a
little
necklace.
plans. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. A collector. That is
Yeah.
so fancified. I've always wanted to be a collector myself. It's so cute how you can just have like a shelf full of things. Like Mr. Zorbucks. Oh my god, he's got the best collection.
And she kind of goes on a little bit. She starts spinning a yarn about these artifacts. Mr. Zorbucks is a great collector of artifacts that they find across the galaxy, and that is why he's settled in Mercy for the time being. All these Trulium mines have been turning up interesting relics. But those are not for show.
Well, are they in his office? I know they're not for show, but if we just go have a nice little meeting, could we see him there, or are they like secreted away in a spot that only a mighty kind girl or guy like you could show a mighty kind fella how to see him?
Oh, you! They're tucked away, nice and safe and secure, right by our dressing rooms downstairs. We don't keep them up by Mr. Zorbucks' office because they're all manner of ne'er-do-well up there. But down where we are, it's amazing. Oh my god, the glitz, the glamour. You should come and see it, but you're not allowed.
I was going to say, a gentleman never asks to go to a lady's dressing room, but if you're inviting, a gentleman can't turn down an invitation.
Well, I can't invite you. No. We would get in so much trouble. We would get in the most trouble. I've never
only
thought
if we
about
got
how
caught,
much
right?
trouble I could possibly be in, but I think taking you back there would be the worst trouble.
Wouldn't it be fun to know?
What do you mean?
I mean, if you can't even imagine what the worst trouble is, then it's clearly some sort of you were saying, life endangerment. Wouldn't it be fun to know what the worst that could happen is, so you know what you can do for everything else to get away with?
You're like, isn't it fun to die? Give me a flirting or persuading roll. Give me a roll. How many dice are you using from the pool?
I'll do my die and then 3 non-bonded die. Bonded die.
Okay. Go
So
ahead and
4
roll those
total.
4 dice.
That is 2 5s and 2 2s.
Okay. 2 successes means you get what you're aiming at, but it might put you in a bit of a problematic situation. Sable, you at the bar have kind of been stunned by looking at what Ted Danielson has turned into. This razor knives outlaw in front of you, a face that you've seen on bounty posters, probably plenty of times, but now standing in front of you, how tall he is, how scarred he is, how it seems like 2 of his fingers have been replaced with knives. It is a little daunting. You don't see your cohort slipping away down into the bottom area, like dressing room area, with 2 plasmoid ladies wrapped their arms around him as he disappears in a cloud of smoke, tinges of scarlet following behind. But you were in earshot when he left. So what do you do in this moment with the dice pool you have left? 3 in the dice pool, 1 bonded die, and of course your specialty.
I was in earshot of him, so I am listening.
Yeah.
And like they're putting their scarf up. They probably have this, have gained some scars since that time. They're not the same Sable Graves since they last saw old Teddy Boy, but whatever he's up to, Sable's interested, especially with the outer rings, right? So
Yeah.
let's do all those dice. Wait, is it still shared, right? Oh, I shouldn't.
Yep. Still shared
We have
currently.
5 left. Yep.
Yep.
Still 5. So
Well, you have 4 total, and then your specialty.
I'll do 3. Wait, no, 2, including my specialty.
Okay.
Only spending 1 from the pool. Right? Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
Making sure I move the right thing. Yeah.
That means 2 dice pool dice remain, and 1 bonded die still remain in the dice pool.
That is a 5 and a 3.
Okay. 1 success means you do not get what you're aiming at. You are walking back to the dressing room area. Clint, wrapped up in 2 beautiful plasmoids. And before they get to the dressing rooms, they swing a door open, peek inside, and then swing it open a little further. And you can see glass case and display shelf all the way around, one after the other after the other. They are lined with artifacts and relics and pieces from history all across different planets. You can tell that there are different elements that you've never seen. Some are like in gaseous forms that are being contained in glass spheres. There are so many wondrous things in here. But you hear from the front of the bar, where you did not see razor knives walk in, "Reckoner, is that you? My gosh!" As you realize you didn't get to pull your scarf up in time to cover your face, Sable Graves. Clint, I will ask you. Your partner just rolled. It's now your turn. Do you continue forward, or do you go back for your partner? Or a secret 3rd thing?
May I propose a secret 3rd thing and you tell me if I have enough time for it?
Of course.
Okay. I would love if a secret 3rd thing could just be a quick glance to see if anything remotely matches the description we have.
Yes, roll those dice. Let's see here. You're sneaking. You can roll your specialty as well. Your bond
Okay.
your bond dice is in here, so 2 dice pool, 1 bond die, and your specialty.
And it's when we use up all of them is that they reset, right? Or is it the end of a scene that they reset? I think it's the
It is
second
when
one, right?
the actions are resolved, but I
Okay.
would say that this would resolve those actions depending on a success.
I'll go with all 4.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. Okay. I got a 1, a 3, a 4, and a 5.
Okay.
Is
1,
this
3, a 4,
is
and a
this
5.
criminal breaking into this like outlaws little storage chamber by convincing his employees to let me into his back room? Is that breaking the law?
I would say trespassing is breaking the law. Yeah.
Cool. So I can re-roll that 1. No, I can't. I just
Your
make it a
1 is
6.
automatically a 6, so that puts you to
Uh-huh.
3, but then yes, you still re-roll it to see if you get higher.
And that's another 5.
So 4 successes.
Again, chat. Crime is good.
You do absolutely. I mean, be gay, do crime in space. You do see. You've learned this outline.
Mhm.
It's a slender being that looks to be sitting. 2 alert pointed ears up top, and a tail that curves up kind of like half of an S on the side. You do a quick scan as you hear this exclamation from the front, knowing your window is closing. You absolutely see it in the corner. And I will give you a little extra. You can see that it is behind a lock that you are familiar with picking. And at that, you can resolve that roll, and we will replenish the pool.
Nice. We get some dice back, Maz. We're not dead yet.
We're not dead yet. I can't wait to see if you guys get to the point where you have no dice in your pool and what happens from there. Just so you know, above table, when that does happen, if that happens tonight, it very well may not. In this game, you roll your specialty dice when you're acting like your sort, which is all you can do, and your bond die, because no matter what, the curse is still there. So you can always get at least 2 successes, which means you get what you're trying to do, but obstacles. But it is impossible to get away scot-free with anything. Back in the front, Razor Knives struts over to you. You notice the bar stool next to you shake and quiver as the wooden planks of the floor bend underneath his weight. He smacks down an arm on the bar, leaning into your space, and goes, "Sheriff! Don't act like you don't know me, Sheriff! Sheriff Sable Graves! I'd know that face anywhere!"
Eddie, shut your mouth.
Well, ain't
And
you
they're, like, kinda-
ornery after a
And
couple
they just like
drinks?
put their hand over their mouth, like. You got me mistaken, friend. Ain't never seen you before in my life. And they say like that last part a little loud.
Give me a
Ain't no
convincing
loud
roll.
here no more, just folk. Just trying to get by like you, like me. You want a drink, Eddie?
Give me a roll to convince people that you are not exactly who just loudly proclaimed you to be. Most of the patrons don't really care. Like, they see someone walk in and go, "How the heck are you?" They're not turning their eyes. But the fact that he said sheriff over and over again, and then Sable Graves, the Reckoner, it is very possible that a few of these outlaws here are cutting eyes. How many dice would you like to roll?
This is where I wish I changed my death trigger to something cool.
Yo, yours is
That
cool
would
when we
work.
need it.
We do. But
Oh,
not
you'll need it, all right.
Meadow, that's not helpful. That's terrifying.
4 with the sword.
Okay.
That is a 5, 4, and a 6, and a 1, which... Oh, I want to reroll to win all 4.
Well, you can re-roll your 6, and maybe you'll still get 4 successes.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Because you're at 3 right now, which means...
And also, suffocating someone's
It's
a
another
crime.
6.
I imagine that we should reroll that 1.
They're just shushing them. They will do it later if he keeps talking.
So that's 4 successes total?
Yep.
Okay. You say, you got me all wrong, friend. Let me buy you a drink. And as soon as you say that, Razor Knives kind of relaxes and peels your hand away with his non-knife hand and looks at you and goes, well, hey, you buying the drinks, you can be whoever the hell you want to be. And he saddles up to the bar next to you and begins playing the 5-finger game with his own finger knives as he waits for a drink on your tab. He looks over at you and says, now, what is a non-law woman doing all the way out here in Mercy, Sector 12? Are you insane?
The last time I saw you, and they kind of like put their eyes straight down at the knives that they have, just... I don't know, you were counting all the way up to 5, so... What happened there?
Oh, these! Don't worry about this. Now, this is what you like to call a money hand. When I was doing a stint in the circus, they needed someone to draw a crowd, to wow them, to scare them, to give them the thrills, you know? And that was me. That was me, all right. I threw my fingers at children.
Not that, we gotta hydrate.
I want these lines on a shirt.
Children.
And
I just want a sweatshirt that says, I threw my fingers at children, Meadow. Not even the character, just Meadow.
Please don't,
Just
don't
Meadow.
credit me for that. No, thank you.
And hush about that. And they kind of say about the law woman part. If I were her, you know you already would be in chains. And they kind of do like a little slow smirk. And they like look under their like hat as they sip on their drink. They'll push the drink closer to them to kind of be closer.
Yeah.
Look. I'm just getting by, walking through town. I'm not really trying to mess with any of this, you know? I turned a new page, let's say, writing a new book. You know what? Threw the old book out, burned the pages, got a new book. Whole new book.
Oh, well, you know, stranger, I can't read, so it's all Greek to me. And he is going to look at the drink that you got him and go, you got good taste. Anyway, I'm not here for that either. I don't know why you think I am. I'm just a feller cruising by, trying to finish up some business. Excuse me, won't you, stranger? And he knocks back this drink, sets it down, and then hops off the bar stool where he picks it up and whack, thwacks it against the nearest outlaw. A brawl erupts. Sable Graves, what are you doing?
I need combat music instead of this. Sorry. If it's like a one of those stools that can spin around, they're spinning Teddy around and pretty much being like, instantly.
Well, Teddy's
just...
out. He's picked up a bar stool and hit somebody with it.
Oh, if they're hitting someone, they're just using Teddy as like ducking cover and as soon as the loud sound goes out, let out a sharp whistle for Clint.
Okay.
Yep.
Give me a roll. This will be a resolving roll. for you out here. We're going to replenish the pool and then cut to Clint, who is in the room with a relic. But you don't have to use all of these dice if you don't want to. Give me a roll to see how well you can carry this whistle and duck from damage behind razor knives.
Just to remind me, how much do I have left?
There are 3 dice from the dice pool, 1 bond die, and of course your specialty, if you are doing anything with your specialty.
Defending?
I don't think so. You're not defending anybody, you're hiding behind someone.
The friend.
Oh, I Oh, let's see. It's less hiding, it's more like pulling them around so that they don't hurt any more people.
Oh, you're grappling.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, you can absolutely add your specialty dice here.
And then you said this will resolve the seed and will go back, so it'll replenish, so I can use all of them.
You can. This will replenish the dice if it is successful. If not, we're going to have to deal with the fallout.
Successful meaning 3 successes, right?
2 just puts you
Two.
in like a worse spot, but you still get to grapple them. So only.
Okay, then I will
if-
use 3 dice, including my sword.
Okay,
Just gotta get 2 out of 3.
that's all you need.
All I need. And that is a 6 and a 5.
Okay, you can reroll your 6 if you want to add another success, or try to.
That's another 5.
Okay, that is 3 successes. Sable Grace, not only are you young, but you're very unassuming. Most people would not think that you are capable of much power. However, your omnipresent narrator knows all and is extremely aware of how you managed to get up and under this massive wall of a man and grapple him backwards so he can't hurt anyone else. You hear, "That's the spirit, Sheriff! You really have written a new book!" As he is thrilling in this brawl. You aren't able to lift him, but you absolutely are restraining him, bare-knuckled, a full 2 feet shorter than him, a man with knives for fingers, as he seems to just be having a really good time. You hear, "Zorbucks, get out here!" It is not from Razor Knives. It seems to be from his cronies, the other outlaws, calling for backup as the entire place is exploding into chaos. We are going to replenish the pool at this point because as so many pieces are moving, there is one outlaw in a side room with some plasmoid showgirls about to possibly steal a relic. What are you up to, Clint?
The sound of brawl outside kind of overrides team smash and pass, which is my plan, was just to break the room and run. But now that I got a bit of cover and some sound, I'm gonna try and pick that lock I'm familiar with.
Okay, go ahead and give me a roll. You decide how many dice you want to use. Let me know if you're using the bond die.
I think I'll do 4 total, 1 bond die, and then mine for stealing.
Okay, so we have 2 from the dice pool, 1 bond die, and 1 specialty die.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a roll.
Oh, and that is 6, 6, 5, and 3. So I get to re-roll both 6s, right?
Yes, was one of the 6s on the bond die?
No, it was on my
Okay.
personal die. Yeah, no, the bond die let me down. That was the 3. Then another 3 and another 2, so only the original 3.
Okay, that's still enough to get done what you need to get done, as the plasmoid girlies hear what the commotion going on in the front of the saloon, and they kind of scatter. They run into their dressing room and go, "So sorry about this, mister, we gotta protect the talent!" And they slam the door. You hear it locking behind them. Ruthless, those girlies, as you are able to kind of zone out that clamor, that cacophony of glass shattering, of wood splintering, of that sickening, grunting, punching, flesh meeting flesh sound. And you pop that lock open, and you're able to swing open the display case. where you see above table a cat statue in bronze, sitting no more than 4 inches tall, right in front of you.
Definitely gonna pocket that. And any other relics that happen to be on this shelf.
Absolutely. You start grabbing. Go ahead and give me another check for thieving, please.
I'll do 2 from the pool in my personal, so leaving 2
Okay,
in the
so 3
pool.
total.
Mm-hmm. 2 5s and a 1.
Okay. You're breaking the law. Do you want to make that a 6
I am
instead?
breaking the law. Yeah, I'll make that a 6.
Okay.
And then
Reroll that 6. That is
only becomes a
3.
3. Yeah,
Okay.
so 3 successes and then, yeah.
Perfect.
I love breaking the law. It's so fun in this game.
Yeah,
For legal
outlaws
reasons, only
have
in this
their
game. Yeah.
You grab not only the statue you came here for, but 3 or 4 other items that look valuable and foreign, and like you can do something with them on the dark market. Something. You stash them all in your bag. What do you do next?
I think, knowing there's a lot of commotion, and also knowing that these girls kind of said they'd be killed on the spot if they knew I was down here, going to try and sneakily like move up the stairs, and like I imagine like because you said it kind of like comes behind the stage, right?
Yes. So where you're at is the behind the stage dressing room hallway, which is
Mhm.
on the opposite side of the saloon as the upstairs curtained area where Sable had
Okay,
slipped behind before. So you're downstairs.
Yeah, so I think then as I come up the stairs, try and make it look as much as I can like when the first sound went off, just ducked beneath the stage or ducked like behind the curtain, and not like I've been behind here, but like
Yeah.
that was an instinctual duck and cover, not a hey, I've been down there doing problems.
Yeah, you pop up looking bewildered and seeing if anyone believes you, and you notice immediately Sable Graves in like a Greco-Roman wrestling situation with a man with knives for fingers. What do you do?
Yelled at her, hell yeah, you finally got that spark back. And then from there, so this is really fun. Do I notice the 700-pound goo man walking towards this?
You do see at the top of the stairs where those curtains part, gooey fingers coming out, and this man kind of having to squish himself through the doorway in order to like gelatinously come out of it, and he's at the top of the stairs where the banister was.
I think I want to get over to my cohort Sable Graves and try and like prop up the grapple to make it look like it's more part of a game and less an assault that kicked off a bar brawl.
Yeah. Okay, give me I think this would count as a lion roll. You're lion. Just physically. So feel free to roll your last 2 die if you'd like with your specialty.
Yep.
Now that you're back within earshot, this will resolve the roll. Sable Grace has to come into action.
Is this crime?
I don't think this is crime.
Damn. I got 2 5s and a 1, and I really wanted to be able to put that 1.
Okay, so you go ahead
could it
and
be
mark.
the continuation of the crime of I just robbed this man blind and I'm trying to hide the robbing?
I don't think that has anything to
Damn.
do with your grapple grip.
That's perfectly fair. I just had to try. This is the first time I've gotten to be a player in like months, so I just gotta give it every try.
You're doing great. You rolled more fails than successes, so mark a burden. I think you may be
2 5s and a 1.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said 2 1s and a 5. So that is
2
2
5s and a 1.
successes. You absolutely managed to kind of wiggle your way into this physical altercation. And what do you do to really sell it?
So the last thing I think I heard was him crying out "sheriff," right? I wouldn't have heard the compliment of "hey, I don't know who that is." Like that didn't make it to me.
Yeah,
with a whistle.
nope, you don't know.
Okay, then I think I'm assuming it's an affront, but I see that my partner is winning, which I am shocked by. So I think just gonna kind of get up in there and like. You know how before every good fight, someone needs to rip them apart so they can be like facing off? like try and like rip him off to make the face-off happen.
Okay. You absolutely do manage to peel this massive barn of a man off of or out of Sable Grace's grip, maybe after making eye contact so that she knows it's you and it's like cahoots. You can replenish your pool all as now Razor Knives is facing you. Zorbux never raises his voice, but you, Sable Grace, because you're the one facing the banister now because you've turned around from the bar. You notice he makes hand gestures to two of his gang, his outlaws. But first, with a wild, brash grin bordering on insanity on his face, Razor Knives has a new target. He's not being grappled from behind. It's time to brawl. He swings at you, and it's not like a normal punch because he can't really make a fist with his knife fingers. So it's more like a clean right across, whoof, like a swipe. Go ahead and give me a roll. Describe what you're doing here, and it might apply to your specialty.
I think not trying to escalate the situation, not going to be putting myself into a further offensive stance. I think going to try and like dip back, like not even like move my body much, just like take a step back. Like knowing hand-to-hand combat, you can only go so far, and the best thing to do is like don't overreact, move yourself back a little bit. So I think it's just going to try and like reflexively like escape a couple steps back.
Yeah, using the least amount of energy to get the furthest away from damage. Go ahead and give me a roll. I would count this as escaping if you wanted to roll your specialty dice with this. How many are you rolling?
I'll roll specialty and 2 from the pool.
Okay.
So 3 total.
So we're taking 3. That leaves Moz with quite a bit.
Oh, 3 5s.
Hell yeah. You absolutely managed to avoid this danger. Sable Graves, you see Razor Knives take a swipe at your partner, who manages to evade it, but the entire place is in chaos. Clint could just as easily take a bottle to the back of the head any second as he could facing Razor Knives. It's not one-on-one rules. The entire place is in chaos. So, Sheriff, ex-Sheriff, what do you do? Ooh, you might be muted.
Sable's going to, this is instinct, so find another chair, bring it to the back of old Teddy right now, and with the, could they have a gun? Could they have a pistol to shoot in the air to be like, everybody calm down?
You can certainly try, but it's going to have to be one or the other. You can either swing this chair at him, or you can pull out the gun.
Let's go for the gun.
Okay. You pull out this rusted old thing that is well cleaned, but old. And you are trying to use this kind of like a mix of intimidating and convincing to get people to like realize that shit just got real. Oh wait, no it didn't, but at least we've stopped fighting. Go ahead and give me a roll. How many dice are you using?
If 3 left in the pool, bond dice, and then sword, so for a total of 5, right?
There are 4 left in the pool and a bond dice.
Got it. 4 left in the pool and a bond dice. Okay. I'm going to use 3 in the pool plus my bond dice for a total of 4.
Your specialty counts. You've got convincing and intimidating in your...
For a total of 5.
Okay. Leaving 1 for Clint. Wonderful.
Mm-hmm. We got this. We got this. We got this. Also, there will be an ad break in about a minute. For this one, we'll just stay through. So, if you are not subscribed to the channel, we won't do the biggest thing, but we will keep the story moving. If you aren't subscribed, please don't spend your money on the channel. If you want to spend someone's money, spend Jeff Bezos's and make him pay me money. But no need to subscribe, although we would appreciate it. The ads will happen. There'll be a 3-minute ad break. We will keep the story going, but we'll try and be conscious of most people not being able to stay through it. Thank you so much.
How many successes?
Oh, can I re-roll? Can I like look back?
Yes, you can. Will you tell me what you rolled, though?
I can do that, Meadow. I can do that, but we're having such a good time. I have 1 success and
Okay.
4 ones.
Okay.
Oh,
No matter
So
what.
I want to re-roll.
Yeah, no matter what, I do need you to mark me a burden. Actually,
I'm at
2
3 burden. I'm
Okay.
at 3 and 1 burden.
Okay, so you can erase all of your so you have 1 become a weapon now, and 1 burden, because those 3 equal 1. So you can clear out your burden track and just add the 1. And you have already filled out your just before the curse part of your arc to flash back to. You have 1 and 2 and 4 and 5 to choose from. Which area of your life do you want to flash back to?
Let's go to 1. Curious.
Okay. The earliest. There is, or was, a traumatic, terrible incident where you first recall feeling your burden deep inside of you. The vengeance. Where it all started. Tell us the moment you remember feeling vengeance inside of you for the first time.
Out here, before the war took up every known being, conscripted and everything that's, to serve. There's an old tree behind the Graves homestead, carved with every child's name, all of them, and all of them boys, except for Sable. She put her own name on that wood. It was kind of tough growing up. A lot of kids, hard to find work, maybe food. When she was a kid, she would trace her name in the wood, and then she would memorize every single time it like curls or how it felt under her fingertips. There was one person who was always, I guess, looking out for himself. So when her dad couldn't come home with the right amount of food, this one would always, take enough for himself and not for the rest. It was a deep hurt. The feeling of your own kin kind of turning against you from your first days. That name was always missing on that tree. She didn't really talk to that person who held that name until she had to arrest him. And then he was the last face that she saw when the whole town turned against him, not even standing up for her. First vengeance she felt. The first person, the one person in her family, her father never spoke of him. Her mother flinched whenever she would hear the name. Her older brother, Elias. He left that family a long time ago. But it still hurts.
That feeling of hurt that fuel for vengeance wells up inside of you as you grab your gun. You raise it into the air and you pull that trigger. For a moment, there is nothing but the tinkling of glass that was just broken a second before you shot, hitting the ground. You hear heavy breathing, labored breathing. You hear someone spit out blood. And at the top of the banister, Mr. Zorbucks makes eye contact with you and says, "Well, that was quite a show. You think any of you varmints could have a drink in peace without ruining my fine establishment? It'd be mighty appreciated. You, curious one, bring her to me." And you see a couple of Outer Rings kids coming towards you. But before we do, please re-roll all those failures. We're going to see how effective this shot was.
All of you dice are going in the dice jail tonight. Did you just know that? That is 3 more successes.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So that was 1. So that brings it to 4. They don't touch you when they come up to escort you, but there are 4 outlaws branded with this metal ring that looks like an O, where you can see their shoulders and their biceps, that looks like it was implanted in them. Silver ring. And they flank you on all sides. One says, "Ma'am," as if expecting you to get moving.
They, if they were coming up close, they'll just have their hand up like, I can walk myself. And they kind of like, they'll give a tip at the bar, put extra enough for the bartender and put it under a glass and like put it to them and like just put their hat to them, kind of go around them. And even if people are looking, just be like, "Don't y'all have drinking to do?" and just walk up the stairs.
Clint, you see this. You have 1 die and your specialty die.
Mm-hmm.
What do? Are you trying to sneak behind? Are you trying to leave this establishment and try and see what you can gain from the outside? Like maybe listening in or looking in? What's going through your mind right now as an outlaw in a saloon of outlaws that are escorting your friend?
The first thing is that he wants to be with his friend up there, but he's also quite aware he literally has pockets full of stolen things that if this man said, "Hey, can then you just in a good show of faith empty out your pockets," would not go well. So, and also a lot of the outlaws here don't like him, so he's not going to follow Sable up the stairs. But is there an upper balcony that like would wrap the building that he could like go sit outside the window and listen in on?
Oh yeah. There is a wraparound 2nd-story balcony. You're able to head out there, no problem. There's already a few people out here smoking. You see one of them rubbing their jaw as they light a cigar. Like clearly they were just in the brawl and came up for a post-brawl smoke. Absolutely you can. So give me a roll for, if you're not technically sneaking, but if you'd like to be in terms of like listening, like eavesdropping as your sneak, you can use your specialty dice for this.
Yeah, I think he wants to like sit outside, sit at the base of the window and pretend like he's just like taking a breather leaning up against the wall, but maybe like has cracked the window a little bit to like definitely listen into what's being heard on the inside.
This is gonna be sneak for sure because I need to see if you crack this window without being noticed. So roll those 2 die.
2 dice. I can't even ask if it's crime. Got a 4 and a 3.
Okay, that's a 1 success. You did get a failure. If you'd like to flash back, so you can re-roll that 3 and hopefully get another success. You
Yeah.
can.
Yeah, I'll flashback.
Give me a 1
I'll
through
take number
5.
2, please.
Sure.
I'll take 2 on
Absolutely.
their menu of choice.
You kneel down under this window and you see the bigwigs coming in. Sable right behind them, a trail of mucousy slime lining the doorframe as Mr. Zorbucks has to force himself back into his very small office. And as you go to wedge the window, I need you to flash back to a moment where you were shown mercy or where you were given really good advice. Maybe advice that could come in use here.
I think it'd be a moment couple days after the shootout that took Dolly down. I think immediately wanted revenge, knowing the gang that did it, knowing that he's extremely outnumbered, knowing all of that, and instead, like, he probably has not left the like saloon since that day. Like, has gone home and stuff, but has essentially lived out here. And the bartender would stop him on the way out and do a little bit of like some sort of a reminder of, kid, it's much better to know what you're doing before you do it, and kind of remind him that if like brute force isn't going to be his favor, but like sneaking, flirting, stylizing, getting all eyes not on his hands but on what he's saying, to like be like, you're not going to survive this one-on-one, but maybe if you can get a bit on the inside, you can learn a bit more.
Absolutely. You hear these wise words from this old seasoned bartender kind of ringing in your mind as you are utilizing the beauty and the sensibility of finesse. Go ahead and re-roll me that failed die. Maybe it'll be a 6.
Is this crime?
Opening a window. You tell me how opening a window is crime.
Because I rolled a 1 and I wanted to be crime. It's crime because it's bad to listen to people's conversations.
I don't think you're breaking the law, but you do creep.
A 4 and a 1 total then.
Yep, so you have 1 success. You cannot creak open the window. You realize that it is locked. So like no amount of finesse on your side would allow you to be able to hear what's going on, but you can watch sneakily, and we'll see how that goes. Inside this office, Sable Grace, you're surrounded by outlaws. 2 have come into the office with you. The other 2 that had surrounded you are outside standing guard as they close the door behind, and you are in this room with this very slimy man. He leans back, and you hear the chair squeaking in effort as his slime kind of folds over the sides, and he places his hefty hands atop his chest and goes, "Now, Miss Sable Graves, I thought you were just looking for something. I turn around and you're shooting in my saloon."
A little bit of ruckus, Just wanted a drink before I left town, and here it was. A little mess that I thought I could clean up. Again, thought that would do the trick. Apologies.
I once knew a sheriff that liked to shoot in the air when things were getting a little rowdy around. I hear things, Miss Graves. Disturbing things, whispers, really. Some friends of mine, I hear tell. You lied to me, Miss Graves. That you was indeed law at some point. Is that true?
You asked me if I was law. I don't practice it. I'm just Sable Graves. You know what? I'm not even her anymore. I'm just finding a new place to catch up my horse and, drink at the bar. Do some things, odd things, get some coins to pay for a bed at night. Wake up in the morning, get some food. Find a new town.
I hear you, Miss Graves. I do. In fact, I'm likely to make you an offer to that end, if you might be interested. I look for people who know how to de-escalate, if you catch my drift. Well, are you interested?
I went from, one very heavy job to something, I don't know, I need a little bit more than that. Where are we doing this?
Why, Miss Graves, you insult me. What do you mean? I simply offer you a chance to obtain what it is you claim you wish to have. A couple coins for a bed, a nice drink here and there, sense of peace. Come and work for me. A little bit of security here, a little bit of retrieval there. Could work out real nice, Flack, for you. Don't you agree? And as he says, don't you agree, you hear and feel the two outlaws step forward behind you, closing in the distance.
Does that feel like, at least for someone who's probably has been in this situation where like they had a sheriff and deputy kind of like come up closer, like agreeing is the only step forward?
Seems that if you don't agree, you will be convinced, and the convincing may not be pleasant.
Mm. They kind of take off their hat, kind of dust off whatever's on it, pull out, like look at their gun, their like revolver, and just like tuck it back in. See, they only have little left in it, so they're just like, look. Like, I used to know what home felt like. Now it's just a word. And town, that's all I know. Sticking around is not really kind of my thing. I kind of have somewhere else to be. I can help. The deal is I am not here for a long time.
You see the features of this slime face kind of rearranging like a lopsided smile as he stands to his full height behind his desk and comes no closer and says, well, I do believe that I wasn't asking what the deal would be. I do believe I was informing you of what the deal is. And he slides a contract across the desk, leaking with slime as he removes his fingers, and snaps, which kind of sounds like a weird squelchy. And an outlaw from right beside your face, you see a pin as he holds it out for you, right next to you.
Sable's just thinking, yes, this is not where I need to be right now. And whatever this job feels like, they don't know that Clint's taking things, right?
If
They're
you would
still
like
bonded.
to know, you can roll for it.
Yeah, I would like to know.
Great. I don't think this has anything to do with your specialty, but you can absolutely roll any number of dice from the pool as well as your bond dice if you'd like.
I didn't realize we reset it. I thought you were gonna make her roll a one singular die.
That will be 2 dice from the dice pool plus the bond die.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for me.
That is a 6 and a 4 for 2 successes.
Okay, would you like to re-roll that 6 to see if you can get up to 3?
Is it on the bond die?
That is a 4.
Was the 6 on the bond die, or was that the 4? Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Great. You can each erase a burden. As I think this is the most appropriate roll to get a 6 on the bond die, because that brings it up to 3 successes. You get away with this scot-free. It's not that you see Clint. As your bond die hits its max, you feel Clint on the other side of this wall window. You know that he is less than 8 feet away, considering this room is pretty tight. However, because you are in eyesight, Clint, I need you to do a reaction for me. You see the contract being pushed across the desk. You can't hear the words that are being spoken, but you see a quick movement from Sable's side. What do you do?
Attack the person going after my friend. I just don't know the what. Well, the thing is, okay, so the lock is locked internally, which means I got to use something big to get through that glass. So
Yep.
I think gonna pull out a gun that Sable gave me years ago and fire straight through the glass at the goon behind her.
Great. Go ahead and give me a roll. How many dice are you using for this?
I'll roll 3 because I don't think I can add my specialty die, right?
I don't think so, unless you are
breaking in.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say so.
Yeah. Okay, that's 2 4s and a 3.
Okay, so 2 successes. What we say happens because you do what you are aiming at. You shoot. The glass shatters. Any protection from what was going on in this room that you may have had a second ago is gone. And Sable, as I said, you are very quickly being handed a pin. Before that pin can get all the way in front of you, you hear as the outlaw staggers back, hits a wall, and slowly slides down. You can add 1 to your collaborative kill count.
That's exciting.
And then everything
That's
begins to move very quickly. Sable, you have 1 dice, 1 die, and win your specialty. What are you doing in this moment as the other outlaw is currently, for just a moment, shocked by what just happened? The head goes to their friend and then to the glass, and as their head is coming back to you and their body is moving forward, what do you do?
that gun they gave them was one of their old guns. They know that it doesn't shoot straight twice. So that was lucky and that was good. But they are going to rely on something that bonds them together, and they will expend one to become a weapon for Clint.
Yeah! I'm so stoked about this. As you let go, as you let your curse take over, you are both wear weapons, but only one of you can be in weapon form at once. You feel that vengeance take over you. Your vision is hazy red for a moment. Describe to us what it feels like as you physically become a weapon, and then what that weapon is as it is drawn immediately through that open window to Clint's hands.
The feeling of a blade going through and marking itself, like the name on the old graves tree, wrapping itself in bark, it in the feeling of defending oneself with this blade just kind of comes through. So it just, as bark kind of covers them, there's this like gleaming starlight that kind of goes through, a hope kind of wrapped up and protected, and it as it covers Sable, the last thing that covers them is their eyes that glow star like light bright, before it all covers and becomes this spectral like saber like blade, with the handle towards Clint.
Clint, a semi-familiar feeling happens as you drop the gun and feel this saber of starlight in your hands. Already, the other standing outlaw is reaching for his hip. You're still outside, and now, so is your cohort here. What do you do?
Yeah, as fun as it would be to engage in a shootout, I'm running. The 700-pound goo man can't fit out this window. The outlaw can't fit out this window. I've got at least a good minute and a half before anyone can follow me.
You
Taking
have
people with me and doing a run.
You have one die left. We never finished resolving. And your specialty, which is escaping, so you can roll them both. Go ahead and roll. Let's see how effective you getting the hell out of here is.
Could we say that doing a murder is crime? and fleeing the scene of a murder is crime?
Your current action
and now I'm
is
fleeing the scene of a crime, which is also a crime.
Sure,
that's
sure.
a 5
I'll give it to you.
Cool.
I'll give it to you. You're breaking
the law. That's a 5 and a 6 and a 3, so 2 successes.
Okay, so 2 successes. You again managed to do this. You're on the second story. You managed to, with this saber, kind of like and run with it behind you to keep all of the blades out of your delicate parts, and you take a flying leap over the second story balcony. You know your curse. You can't die. So the worst that comes to worst is you would get shot full of 100 holes and it would hurt for days. So you can take a little bit of pain. And you do. As you come crashing to the ground, your cohort in your hand gleaming with starlight energy, and you are taking some damage here as both of your ankles feel rolled, not broken, but like it's like the shunt of power all the way up through your knees as you land, taking you to your side. As you stand limping, we will get you all to replenish your pools, or your pools, excuse me. And you need to find a way out of here. You can't run out of mercy. We will start with Clint, but you need to know that there are outlaws pouring out of this saloon, and they are pew, 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 shooting. What do you do?
So, part of our curse is that we know we gotta do a murder to feel a little better, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
You do crave violence and blood in this form.
Then I feel like Clint's usually the one that gets fucked up and is the weapon out of the two more often. So as a bit of an apology, the guy that is already mildly concussed and smoking, I think I just want to like ram a saber blade through their back, to like help the weapon out, and then also buy myself a second to see where people are flooding from to run the opposite direction or hide the opposite direction.
Okay, first, let's deal with the blood. You two have to be in agreement that you want to deal this damage and wield this power. Are you? There is an outlaw smoking a cigar on the bottom floor, shaking their head clear of the brawl. Sable, you feel Clint's grip tighten around your handle, and you know that he's going to use you as a weapon in this moment. Do you let him?
They haven't done this as much, as Clint has probably in the past. And when they feel that grip, they're resistant to this, but they will say telepathically to them, "Tell me something good, just one thing. Lie to me if you have to."
It'll give you a rush.
And reluctantly, but that's if this saber blade could roll their eyes, it feels like the resistance becomes like acceptance.
Beautiful. You can decide who will be rolling this, the weapon or the wielder, but you roll your entire dice pool and your bond die in this moment.
Go for it, weapon. Feel the rush.
That is 6, 7, 8 die.
Yes. 5, 6, 7. Sorry, 7. 7 die.
7 die. Oh, all right. It's just so cool to roll even this much die.
It'll give you a rush.
Definitely does. I want to replace some 1s with 6s. So really quickly, as a trusty weapon, I have 6, 5. No, sorry. Let me do that again. 2 6s, 2 5s, 1 4, and 2 1s.
Okay, so that is 7 successes total.
And
You
can
get
we
to
re-roll the 4 6s?
permanently. Yeah, you get to permanently
God.
add another dice to your pool now as you feel yourself cut into this person with that Outer Rings brand. Sable, for a moment you swear it's Elias. For just a second, Clint, you swear this is the person who gunned down Dolly. And in that synergy of pain, you are able to completely vivisect this person as a bunch more come thundering towards you. 2 on steeds and the others on foot. You can see... Well, let's replenish the pool because you're looking for a way out, basically, in terms of everyone else running around, you said. So Clint, please give me a roll for that. Let's see how effective you are at finding the best way out, because there are multiple ways. But let's see if it's a good way or not.
I'll take for the pool 3 plus bond die.
Okay.
And is this still escaping?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so I'll have 5 total then. And as I just like glance around, and be like, "See, told you it was a rush." Ooh. So the good news is there's a 6 in there.
Okay.
The other
I
good
hear it.
news is a lot of the failures add up to 6. I got a 4 and 3 2s.
Okay, so that's 2 successes. You can re-roll your 6, maybe make it 3.
That's another 6.
Re-roll it again.
Does trusty weapon still
That
work?
is
in
another
this? 'Cause
6.
They're actively being held.
Re-roll it again.
This Zelda set hates me. This is the best it has ever done. That's a 5.
Okay, so that's 5 successes. You crawled your way up from 2 to 5 successes. Wonderful.
The pile of 2s in the corner there.
You did originally roll more fails than successes. Mark another burden for me.
That'll
And if
give
you're
me
at
a
3, you
weapon
can erase
box.
them and mark 1 become a weapon. As you take stock of the people screaming now, you hear the shaking of probably Zorbucks coming down the stairs, one stair at a time, globbing his way through his own saloon in a rush. As you see behind you, these rush of people coming towards you from the saloon. Behind you, there are stables. You might be able to steal a steed. And you also see across the street is the sheriff's office. Now, the sheriff may not be able to help you against a gang of outlaws, but they might have more artillery or some kind of, fortifying area. You think if you're trying to get just straight out, far out as possible, the stables. You also see further behind and easier to get to on foot is the mines. So you could escape into the mines, but you don't know where they go, how far they go. Sable was able to gather from the bartender that they pretty much traverse the planet, but you don't know that.
I don't know that. Yeah, I don't. And I also don't even know that that's where a lot of relics come from. So I don't think the mines are of any interest to Clint in the moment.
Okay.
I also, if they have 2 on horseback, even if you get the fastest horse, those are slim odds. So I think he's
You can
going
try and
to
take one of
go-
their horses.
Yeah, I think he's going to go to the sheriff's station and run in and let them know that Zorbucks is trying to stage a coup to try and rally all of the sheriff members against the gang impending on the sheriff's station.
So you see, you didn't do much talking to people around town.
I didn't.
So
And
you
knowing
were
Western tropes, I
staged.
assume this does not matter, but it's what I think would be the best choice of Clint right now.
Yeah, you run into the sheriff's office with a
Mhm.
celestial sword in your hand, glowing bright, dripping blood, and you see only one bounty poster, and it has Zorbucks' face on it, wanted dead or alive, and you see one person in here. There is no one to gather. There are no deputies. There is one truly ancient, like nearly decrepit alien who looks like they are made out of dust, sitting there and goes,
I'll be right with you. I just gotta get my papers in order now. Hold on. Welcome to Mercy, baby. How you doing? Hold on here. Let me get my gun.
and they
I'm
slowly
doing-
start standing and go,
You came in here in a tizzy, you did. Now, how come that is?
So you see your nice little wanted poster there. He's on his way to claim the office for himself, so I wanted to give you a heads up. You might want to get out of Dodge before you're put 6 feet under.
Oh, goodness.
and they're like slowly taking steps towards you. You can hear the outlaws closing in right now. You close the door behind you at the very least. Give
Yep.
me we can call this like give give me a roll, however many dice you want. It's up to you. You can tell me if you think your specialty would apply.
I think he's scheming at best, maybe. And I'll do mine +2, so there should be 2 left in the pool then.
Yep, correct.
Oh, a 6 and 2 5s.
Hell yeah! You want to reroll that
So
6?
the 6 becomes a 4.
Hell yeah! So 4 successes. You see that this little sheriff, who seems to be named Sheriff Petunia from her badge, shuffles by, and as you close the door, go,
don't you worry now, baby. Hold on here. Let me just see if I can lock us up tight, nice and snug like. Don't let the bed bugs bite.
And is like just talking as she goes to pull a lever. As the lever is pulled, the building itself goes into lockdown. You see that huge steel walls drop from the ceiling and drop in front of the door. The only cell here, the bars sink into the ground and the bed flips up. The cot that was like hanging on the wall flips up, and you can see that the floor lowers into stairs. And Sheriff Petunia goes,
well, that's the 6th coup this week. Goodness gracious, those boys is rowdy. I tell you what, they terrifying me something fierce, but they ain't gonna get old Petunia. No, sir, they not getting me.
And she kind of starts hobbling down those stairs, and goes,
you gonna stay up there or you coming down?
Well, I'll follow you wherever you need me to take me, Miss Petunia. Let's get a move on.
Oh, you ain't gotta butter me up, sugar. I got a right to protect this town, and I'm aims to do it.
And she, hitches up her pants that are already far above her navel, and starts walking her way down into the depths. You follow, and you hear them just like falling on this sheriff's office from the outside. It sounds like they're tearing the very bricks away. But even if they did, all they would find is a steel box. As you descend into this cozy, like bunker area with like beautiful rugs, a couple of couches. She lights a fire in a fireplace, and the space becomes warm and feels very safe. Sable, do you stay in weapon form? Do you keep your guard up? Or do you let yourself be safe here? And if you don't know, you can roll to get some insight here. You still have 2 dice in the pool. So if you'd like to get a better understanding of the situation, you can try and roll those 2 dice. And also, possibly your specialty if you're defending as a sword.
Gotcha. Or defending as a fellow sheriff.
Yeah, as a fellow sheriff.
Gotcha.
Yeah, roll a 3 if you'd like.
If they succeed, they could replenish.
Yes.
Gotcha. Cool. So that's 3 with Stort. So 3 total, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. That is a 5 and a 4.
Okay.
Since I'm actively being wielded as a weapon, can I make my failed roll as a success?
Absolutely you can. That's a 6. So you can re-roll that as well. That puts you at 3 successes. You maybe even get a little higher here.
If that's a 3.
Okay. So 3 successes. The space looks safe. The space feels safe. But there's a nagging in the back of your mind, something you've known since the day you were cursed. Nowhere is safe. And as you remember that tried and true adage that has saved your life probably a few times with Clint, especially with Clint, you hear it oozing like a trickle, like jello falling down stairs. You hear something coming. You can replenish your pool now.
Sable, and just to before I say what Sable was thinking, we got a die added, right? So what is our total amount?
Your
On our
total
pool?
dice pool is 7 plus your bond die. So you now have a total of 8 in the dice pool altogether.
And then the 9 is the sort die.
No, 8. Oh yeah, your separate specialty die. Sorry.
Gotcha. Cool. Just to make sure my numbers are not my friend. Okay. The moment they start like pulling the bark, the feeling of defending someone off and coming back to Sable, they think of that feeling that they had before of this could be Elias. And the vengeance they feel is not of this, I want to hurt Elias. It's more this reminder of when she saw him in the crowd, not standing up to support her, even when she didn't. She supported him, and that was a moment she swore she would never be like him. But the moment that sword went through and came out, and she felt the pleasure, the what she felt, that was the moment she knew she already was. So she will come back together as this sword and telepathically like just say to Clint, we are not safe. We only have moments. And just like show that in like starlight or something towards the area or where they heard the...
Absolutely. Clint, you hear this? What do you do?
I think look to Petunia. Yeah, my associates are telling us that we're maybe not the safest here. You got a way to fight, and or you leading us into a trap?
Hold on. That's a lot of fast words coming at old Petunia at one time. Hold on now. A way to fight. Well, yes, I have my trusty pistol at my side, and never once in the 300 years I've been sheriff has it ever once been fired. So I think we can talk this situation out. Whatever kind of trouble you have found yourself in, we can make it better, you and me.
And you hear from, while she's talking, you do hear a coalition of gurgles that sound wet and slick.
I think then my first thought would be, there's no way this man can reform quickly. So I want to try and go wherever I can for the goo sound and like hack off parts before he can reform himself. Kind of like funneling the enemies into one tube so that they have to fight you one-on-one, but with his mass against him.
Sure. So you want to wield Sable as a weapon to chop Jello?
Yes. Yes, I do.
I was going to write this in chat ages ago, and I didn't. I was going to say, I want sliced Jello, and I didn't.
I very much would like to make sliced Jello.
Okay, you are wielding the weapon, so you can use the entire pool. If you would like, you can make this roll this time, because you're the one actively doing it. Everything but your specialty.
Okay. That's so fun. I don't know if the noise gate is catching that or not, but that's so fun. Oh, okay. One. Oh, I got a 6 on our friendship die. On our bonded die.
Yay! You can each
And then I
erase a
got.
burden.
Yeah, I don't have any there, but that's okay. And then I got 5 5s, 1 4, and 1 2. And I can
Okay.
reroll the 6, right?
Yes, you can.
That's a 2. We don't talk about that.
Okay. With 7 successes,
Hmm.
you start hacking. Tell me, please, Clint, how this grief fuels this attack and how it minces this man so finely that he cannot put himself together again.
I think it's the thing of like, if the artifact that we were told is true will be there, which I'm sure they've been lied to several times about things. Like his hope's not fully up, but it's like the thought of like this could be it. He just gives into like that wave of exhaustion that only comes with acceptance and just hacks so long and so hard that he's not even doing it at the end. It's just motion and he is
Yeah.
just empty inside. Like essentially doing a cry, like a good cry, but with a sword, to the point that it just like slow moves. Just once it's a pile of gel, just
Yeah.
essentially stirring it slowly, just
Yeah.
continuing to hack at it.
A good cry with a sword is going to be the name of my memoir. Okay, moving on. After you have kind of exhausted yourself, barely moving anymore, you feel a soft hand on your shoulder. Petunia has been watching in a little bit of horror at this point and goes,
Honey, I do believe you got him. There's a way out through here if you want to come on. Help me push the fireplace. I can get you on a passage out of here, and maybe this will mean the end of this crime wave in Old Mercy.
Yeah, sorry about that. Got a
Oh,
little
don't you worry about
carried
that. I
away.
used to be a force in my day. Oh, they were
Don't
scared
doubt
of me.
that for a second, Petunia. I do, however, I'd love to push that fireplace. I did notice a bounty upstairs.
Oh, well, look, there he is, ain't he? Okay.
and she kind of shuffles behind the sheriff's desk. And if you are also looking at all, you will see that it says bounty money, just like a label on the outside of the drawer in very bold, easy to read letters for her aging eyes. And she shakily pulls the drawer open and goes, all right, and then pulls the drawer off of its hinges and hands the whole drawer to you. You see here that these are Trillium bars. They are like gold bars that function as dynamite. So you could sell them, but if you ever needed to, they are highly volatile. She hands them to you and go,
well, that's all we got. It's a sticker. No, I'm just kidding. You earned it. Okay, come on down. Help old
Yeah.
Petunia push this fireplace now.
Do you need a bar or two, Petunia, to like get the town back on its feet, or you're going to be good to go in your 300 years of glory and age and wisdom?
Oh, don't you worry about that, sugar. Mercy been here long before the Trillium, and Mercy gonna be here long after they bleed it dry. Don't you worry none about that. Old Petunia gonna keep her steely eye on the town. Ain't nobody coming through here and messing it up.
And I will be here to protect you from anyone that says they would, and then immediately pushes the fireplace.
and immediately leaves.
Yeah.
As you push that fireplace, kind of like a revolving hidden passage reveals itself. And through this almost mine-like tunnel, you're able to traverse. Petunia is just kind of gets smaller and smaller in silhouette as she waves you on, until you can no longer see her and the tunnel kind of turns. Sable, you are now able to drop this form at will. You walk for a while. You don't know what you will find when you come out. But you realize you're going steadily uphill in an incline, and there's a hatch above you. If you would like to push on that hatch, you can give me a roll to do so. If you would like to do it with the help of Sable, either in human or weapon form, let me know, because that'll change how the roll is done.
Sable will return back, mostly because of they were in this mental space, and hearing Petunia talk that spirit in her, and then hearing Flint, an outlaw, say, "If you need help protecting this town," and the quickest what that a sword could do.
The blade bends in half.
Look me in the eye and what did you say? But they will transform back and kind of walk 2 steps behind Clint, just and if they see that Hatch just help them, but also every single time, just a little sigh. But they will transform out.
Yeah. Well, since you're doing this roll together, and I believe this is our final roll, you can roll the entire dice pool, including your bond die, and let me know what you get.
Say that this wasn't the last roll and we were going on. More a question for Sean to know. Would we have gained an additional d6 in the other success, or can you only gain 1 d6 total?
You can gain up to a total of 12 in your pool.
So, Mas, if we roll all ones, say, we didn't add the extra one in.
Yeah, gotcha.
Do you want to roll 4 and I roll 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
True teamwork here.
Got 2 5s, a 1, and a 2. Is this
Okay.
crime? I just murdered someone and I'm fleeing the scene.
This is not crime. 2 successes on yours.
That's 1 success, and that's a 6 on my bond die, though.
Oh, on the bond die. If you had any burdens, you could erase them. But go ahead and re-roll that 6 for me, because it might bring it up to 4.
That is a 4.
Okay, so that is 4 successes total, 2 from each of you, splitting the dice pool straight down the middle as you look at each other. Cursed as ever, that has not changed. Murderous as ever, that has not changed. And together as ever, which has also not changed. But looking at each other with a slightly different respect. Clint, you are looking at this ex-sheriff who was very holier than thou when you first encountered each other, very angry and bitter. You watched her grapple a man with knives for fingers. You watched her take a page out of your book and sneak into the upstairs area. You watched her hold her own in a tense interrogation standoff style with the ooze boss of this town. And vice versa, Sable Graves, you have watched this outlaw, this person that you've never wanted to be bonded to so intimately, save your life, get valuable information, and declare that he would protect a town instead of ruin it or use it to his own means. And as you make eye contact, you use your shoulders to kind of heave-ho upwards, using your leverage from the incline in that tunnel, and the hatch flies open those double doors. And as you look out, you see the pinkish-orange sunrise rising over Mercy. Maybe the harbinger of an end to your curse. And that's where we'll end our RP for the night. Thank you so much for joining me for this game of Wielder Weapon. If you'd like to find info about the game, you can do that at my Patreon, which will be linked in the chat, or on my beacons, where you can find me everywhere that matters on the internet at Howdy Love Darlin or Howdy Love Darlin GM. It was my pleasure to be here. I am Meadow, she, they pronouns. I would happily do this again. I love this game. I love these people. Maz, would you like to go next for an outro so you can tell the people where they can find you?
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Maz or Megan. I'm a voice actor, and you can find me everywhere at It's Mozzarella or here on Twitch with the 3 Ls. You can always find me on Starcrawl RPG, where we run incredible games like our Wander Home game coming up on Monday, raising funds for the Loveland Foundation. We crushed our goal, so next week we are partnering up with Homebrew & Co. for our next raffle to win some incredible coffee. I don't know what we're going to do for our next goal, but Nate, who plays Idris, was saying 6 more episodes. So we'll see if that happens. So if we crush that goal, I guess I have to get that put on the calendar. Come through, hang out with us. It's an awesome organization, an awesome cast of incredible players, and a really cool story. And we have a whole year full of incredible GMs. We're running amazing games. Thank you so much, Meadow, for running this. This was I'm trying to think of a Western pun. Darn tootin' pun?
This was
that was a whole lot of
darn
fun. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I loved it. Over to you, Sean.
Yeah. Hello. I am Sean. I exist. Hello. I am Sean. I'm trying to remember anything. I was trying to find someone to raid during Maz's thing, so I entirely forgot how this whole communication thing works. I exist. I am here. I run Help Action Needed, both the Twitch and podcast, and secret coming soon audio drama. Ooh, that will be existing in the space because people ask me to do things, and I say, yeah, I have time to edit. That's a lie that I tell myself. But because of that, I have a lot of cool things coming up. But the next thing that you can see me in is going to be right here on this channel with Meadow and a few other people on Thursday of next week, the 20th, February 20th. We'll be starting a fundraiser for the Black and Missing Foundation. It is a foundation that aids people in the Black community who have gone missing or have family members who have gone missing, or just telling you resources on what to happen if someone from your life does disappear. Because we are at a time in our country where it's hard to be anyone. It's especially hard to be a marginalized group that the police don't look out for. And so if you want to be able to help people that need access to resources for finding loved ones or knowing what to happen if something is to happen to them, please join us in supporting the Black and Missing Foundation. The link will go live on Monday, but the first game is on Thursday, and the second game will be on the 27th. And that's actually all I've got left of stream for the month. The rest of my month is fundraising, which is really nice. It'll be nice to have a break. But then in March, really big thing where you can see Maz and Co. On the 2nd of March, the first episode of Down the Forest Road will be going live. It is an Agatha All-Along inspired miniseries. Meadow does make a cameo. Meadow is not a main cast, but Meadow makes a heartbreaking cameo that I cannot wait for you all to see. It changes the story in immense ways. But that'll be going live. It's the story of 4 women who are setting out to gain something, whether it be power, proof, love, or a lost connection, and the story of what they're willing to do and what they're willing to give up as they are on their quest. And I'm not even being biased when I say this. It's honestly one of my favorite TTRPG projects I've ever really seen. So if you are interested in a story of that, please join us on March 2nd and every other Sunday until we run out of episodes. There's also another thing happening on March 2nd, but I don't know if I can talk about it yet because I know that a promo was made, but I don't think it was released. So Secret Project after that on March 2nd and other Sundays. I don't know if I can talk about it, but it's secret until it's not. And that's really all I'm going to shout out for right now because I really want to focus on those 2 fundraisers in the next 2 weeks. So come back on the 20th and come back on the 27th as we play 2 Moons Rising, the Life is Strange TTRPG, and raise money for the Black and Missing Foundation. With that,
Thank you so much for giving us a platform to do this game. I can't wait to see who we're raiding. Who we're raiding.
Yeah, so again, I was now doing my outro, so I haven't found someone. If anyone's got any suggestions, feel free to do so.
Yes,
Yeah, you got a
Translate
suggestion,
RPG.
Transplaner is live right now. Hell yeah, I love them.
Yep, they are. Okay, let's go to Transplaner.
Yeah.
There we go. Perfect. Start raid. Looks like they're playing the Chaos Protocol, Arc 3. The water is
We
waiting. The flesh
love
goes
Chaos
unfed.
Protocol.
So when you get over there, make sure to say hi. I don't do a raid message or anything because I'm not creative. But I hope you all have a great day, and we will see you on the other side. Thank you so much for being here, and as always, be nice and goodbye.
Bye.
And we are...